Chris from sweatyjob.com. Sorry for my ridiculous helmet, but it just occurred to me as I was biking back from a customer installation that, unlike traditional lawn care, where there's a ton of upfront investments, whether it's, I think for my own setup initially I put about $1,600 in. Lawnmowers are way more expensive than you think they would be, and especially if you want something with a bagging setup, you're going to be paying at least $265, $300 for that setup. Add a weed whacker in, and then we come to the question of, and the purpose of this video, which is, do I need to buy a truck? Can I run this out of my vehicle, right? And the answer is, if you're running a manual mowing business, you're going to have to, find some sort of way, right, to transport your materials around. Now, I see, folks here in Richmond doing all sorts of interesting things when it comes to solving the transportation problem. I've got a couple folks on my yard, my block alone, who are renting, budget trucks, paying $19 a day, for the rental fee, and then gas on top of that. And look, if you've got 10, 15, 20 yards that you're knocking out in a day, that definitely makes sense. But for somebody that's just getting started, it can be hard to anticipate that cost every day, especially if you don't have good route density, and you're driving all over creation to get your clients. Now, the reason I'm on the bike this morning is because that's how I got started. I went out and I bought a wiki trailer. I'll include the link in the video. I'll actually do a video on the trailer at some point, but I got started with a pull behind trailer, and that certainly stunk, trust me, when I was doing manual mowing. It was 200 pounds at times that I was hauling around. It led to all sorts of issues with my bike, but I didn't think in terms of, do I need to go buy a truck, right? Do I need to go, hire somebody to help me scale? I just got started with a bike, and it got a heck of a lot easier when I started doing just the automated mowing. Because with the automated mowing, I could have, the mower delivered directly to the customer's house. I just need to show up. I need to do installation. Let's say, the mower gets stolen, right? Well, through sweatyjob.com, we have the insurance policy, no questions asked. Let's say somebody does steal the bot, or let's say it breaks down, or even let's say a new version of the bot comes out, right? We're going to replace that for you. But the reason I bring it up is because then you will need some sort of, option. And if you've got a car, right, you can put, 2, 3 of them in the back. If you don't have a car, and you're looking to do, maybe sort of a bike setup, or you want to be more mobile, then you could certainly look at getting a trailer, which I looked, long and hard for, and was able to find a trailer that really met my needs. It was a little pricier probably than I would have wanted to spend. But then again, it comes down to, where are you putting the cash? Because you could certainly put, money into a new vehicle. You could certainly load up your mower and things into your car. But I think that gets old after a while, and the car starts to get grass stains and becomes less of a family vehicle and more of a work vehicle. And that's fine, if that's your intention. But some folks who maybe are a 1-car family or even a 2-car family, they may not enjoy that idea of a car that smells of gas, or weed clippings all over. So, longer video than I anticipated. I'm just starting at this, so I appreciate any support. Any questions, of course, drop them in the comments section, and I'll be sure to respond to you. But take it easy. We're out here on the frontier. We're building something new, and it requires a little bit of thinking sometimes, and the will to succeed. So take it easy. Have a good one. Chris from sweatyjob.com.